And she was like, I want it now. I want the money now. Like, why not? And I was just like, wow, is this? Hey, it's Lance McGowan here, and today I wanted to talk about the top 7 rules of engagement for customers as well as wellness advocates with doTERRA. And this is important so you kind of have, idea from both ends what to expect, but then also kind of a nice way to do things. And if you're on the outside looking in, you're not with doTERRA, this is kind of just good to keep in mind in general with regards to any network marketing company. What's the purpose of having rules of engagement? Well, a lot of times people don't play nice, and there's a lot of unmet needs, or maybe people trying to stick square pegs through circle holes, and maybe lead with the business opportunity or lead with the products if somebody doesn't not ready for it and stuff like that. So these rules of engagement kind of give some guidelines, and honestly these should probably be used in a lot of different areas and stuff that I try to keep in mind, especially in the context of like conflict resolution and whenever you're just trying to resolve any problem. But okay, so let's go with the first rule of engagement, and it is stay true to your purpose, values, and goals, and understand the other person's too. And so if you're a customer, then it's important to know what you value. Is it a lower price? Is it higher quality products? Is it the ability to work with somebody you know, like, and trust? If you're a wellness advocate with doTERRA, what are your goals and values? Is there a certain rank? Is there a certain income you're looking to have? Is there certain things that you'd like to accomplish? Like, what's your why? Like, what's the reason what you're doing? And really keep all that in mind. And it's important to understand each other's so that, you have an idea of maybe how one could offer referrals, or maybe how one could just address the health priorities of that individual. And at the end of the day, it should be about, obviously you're going to look out for yourself and help yourself, but if there's more understanding and really just empathy on understanding the other sides, that's going to be really key, because there may be some mutual goals that can be accomplished together, right? That can go in line with one another. All right, so the second rule of engagement is speak with good purpose. If it doesn't serve, then don't say it. Think how you can be brutally honest but exceedingly kind at the same time. And so as a customer, it's about, hey, here's what my needs are, here's what my goals are, and let's see if it's a good fit. If it's not, then hey, we can, part ways, no harm, no foul, and that's cool. And then as a wellness advocate, it's like, okay, well, I need to make sure that I'm educating. I need to, provide excellent customer service. I need to make sure that I am, always trying to make sure I have good response time, and really seek understanding and figure out how can I best serve this individual, not just sell to them. Yes, there is a transaction. Yes, there is selling involved, but we want to always come to the table with service and being able to see how can I help this individual. Is what I'm speaking serving them in a way that, draws them closer to understanding, like, hey, I can close that gap from where they are to where they want to be, and they can see that in a way that they know, like, and trust me, and then they understand the the products and the company in a way that builds trust. All right, so the third rule of engagement is if you disagree or do not understand something, ask clarifying questions. Don't make the other person wrong just because you don't want to be. And so as a customer, that's understanding the concept of, pyramid schemes, MLMs, network marketing, and really understanding, hey, how do I use the products at a discount? Right? Or if you're interested in the business opportunity, how do I support myself as a side hustle or part-time income or full-time income? How does that all work? And kind of getting all that understanding. And then as a wellness advocate, it's leading with whatever opportunity best meets the needs of that prospect or customer. And I say prospect or customer because sometimes, that person may have some health priorities with their energy or digestion or sleep or muscles or joints or immune system, that it's so important to offer a natural solution, a supplement, an essential oil, something that could help them if they're open and they're ready. And I say customer because it's important to maintain relationships to make sure they're aware of the values and the specials and whatever's going on that month or that quarter, they could get some extra free stuff, or maybe even just touch base with them again, or go to that networking event that you haven't seen them in a while, or whatever social event, and kind of however you met is kind of a cool way to kind of maintain that. And if it's through email, it's through email. If it's through social media, it's through social media. If it's through, again, networking events, it's networking events. So just figuring out that and really making sure that, again, it's not about making the other person feel wrong about their decision to even stay with a company or leave a company. It's just, here's the information, and I just want to make sure that both parties are seeking understanding and focusing on the truth. And I think that's really been helpful for me, is just, as an educator myself, it's like I always want to make sure I give the best information. And then as a customer for other companies, I always am like, all right, well, it's not about making them wrong. It's just like, just give me the facts, let's cut to the chase. And if there's a need and some goals and they all match up and there's a good fit, we can move forward. If not, we can keep it moving. No need to, pressure sale or hard sale if there's not a need for it. All right. Okay, so the fourth rule of engagement is make only agreements you're willing and intend to keep. Keeping your word builds trust. All right, so when somebody's looking to get started with a network marketing company or doTERRA, a lot of times people will say, hey, I'm interested in a class, or I'm interested in a kit, or I'm interested in learning more, I'm interested, but there's not a lot of commitment that can follow that sometimes, of like, yeah, here's the date and the time that I'd like to do that. Here's, the timing about when I want to get started. I mean, to communicate that would mean a lot of self-awareness and a lot of just, just stating your intentions. And I think that's really important from a customer standpoint. That's what I try to do when I'm a customer of other businesses as well, and just let them know, like, hey, here's what I'm looking for, and if you provide that, great, and then I just need to trust you a little bit more, or get to know the company a little bit more, and kind of how things work to figure out if it's the best fit, because I may shop around a little bit as well, and figure out, all that, whether it be on Yelp or Google reviews, or a lot of places to, Angie's List. I mean, there's lots of places that I might review in order to make sure I'm getting the best value. All right, and then as a wellness advocate standpoint, I mean, that it means agreements to teach classes, follow up with wellness consults. That means agreements with, continue education for yourself or others, like convention. There's so many things that require to communicate and make sure that, you're still keeping your word with regards to your prospects, your customers, your builders, your upline, and making sure you're a person of, integrity. And if you can't, then this comes down to rule of engagement number 5, which is, if you can't keep an agreement, communicate as soon as practical to the other person. Clear up any broken agreements at the first appropriate opportunity. This is so key. I mean, a lot of times, somebody say, oh yeah, I'll call you, and then they don't call, or oh yeah, I'll text you, and they don't text, or oh yeah, I'll email you, and they don't email. And I think, those little things, they're little, but they matter. People want to feel that they're not being ignored or misunderstood or neglected, and it's so important that we at least, as a wellness advocate, offer that service, offer that personalized support, because really, as a wellness advocate, that's what makes being a wellness advocate different than somebody just going to shopping on Amazon or going to the grocery store or health food store and just getting an oil or supplement off the shelf. Like, there's so much more communication and so much more personalized support that they can't get by just Googling something even. Or even, the interaction and real-time interaction that you can get with talking somebody face-to-face or over the phone that is going to provide them with that information. And that also means for the, prospect side as well. So if somebody is interested in a particular product or things like that, it's important that, hey, if they can make a class, that they say they can make a class and not just flake, or, or even be late. If they're going to be late, just say, hey, I'm going to be late. Or, that's for anything. Like, it's really about just closing the gap between, like, what you say and what you do. The closer that is, then the more trust that is built, because trust is built off of a really small gap between what you say and what you do. And if you can't meet a commitment because of what you've originally agreed upon, then as soon as let the other person know. Again, that goes for prospects. Hey, I can't make the class, or I'm going to be late. And as a wellness advocate, hey, here's convention, or here's a class, or here's this, or a wellness consult or something that I'm not going to be able to make, or I'm going to be late myself, stuff like that. It's just communicating, not being able to make or meet an agreement as soon as you know. And I would say offering the opportunity to reschedule. I think that's really important as well. Like, hey, can't make it, what about next Monday? Hey, I can't teach at this time, how does next Tuesday sound, 3 p.m.? I mean, that counter offer, again, doesn't seem like a big deal to you probably at all, but it does show that, hey, I'm still trying to establish that connection. I'm still trying to show that I'm reaching out. I still want to show that I care, or that I want to help you, or that I want to learn, or whatever it is on either end. I think that's so important. All right, so the 6th rule of engagement is, when something is not working, first look to the tools and resources provided to you by your mentor or wellness advocate for corrections, and then propose a solution to the person who can do something about it. All right, so what does that mean? So a lot of times when somebody receives an oil, If it works, great. Then let's talk about next steps and maybe learning more at a class. If you didn't use it because, life came up or life happened, then, when's a good time that you can use it? And let's have that conversation. If you used it and it didn't work or you had a negative, experience, then it's like, what other option could we try to maybe help you have a positive experience? Because it really should be, hey, you tried a sample or you tried an oil out of class or you even got the kit but you're not using it, you didn't open it up, there's lots of things that can happen all along the way from sampling to class, to bought the kit, to even LRP. Some people get off of LRP. Some people, forget that they have LRP and let their orders auto ship without updating it, or there's so many things that can happen along, I call the value chain, right? There's lots of value being given, but if it's not being used and experienced in such a way that creates a positive experience, then there's going to be a breakdown somewhere. And so that's why it's so important to look to the tools, look to the resources that are provided by your wellness advocate, which is really important why you should always find somebody you know, like, and trust that provides excellent customer service or response time so that you can make sure that that value chain experience is going to be one that makes you want to come back and be like, yes, this is the water well of wellness that I keep coming back to and want to experience because, I got the sample and I made it a positive experience. I went to the class and maybe that oil smelled not so good to me, but this one did, and this one can help me with my health, and boom, I got this kit because it made most sense financially to me and it can help me with so many health priorities, and then boom, I got on LRP because it made sense because I had these needs that were going to need to be maintained or my quality of life to get to here, or maybe I didn't do LRP at first and then I got, a standard one-time order 3 months later because that made sense for me. It's just like whatever it is, it's all about continuously moving towards a solution that is going to make most sense for you. And as a wellness advocate, it's important for me to just support somebody in that whole process. If something's not working, then I'll try something else. Or maybe somebody needs space, and so I just let them kind of, do life with whatever solutions they're using, whether it be synthetic or not doTERRA or, Amazon or store-bought or whatever it is, or a competitor. Just let them do life. Maybe they need space, and if they want to come back around, they know where I'm at, right? They have my phone number, they have my email, they find me on YouTube, whatever it is, and when they're ready, they're ready. Let's talk about, finally, rule of engagement number 7, which is take responsibility for your own actions or what you allowed to happen under your watch. No blaming, no shaming, or staging dramas in order to avoid personal wrongness. Just own it and work with them towards a win-win solution. And so as a customer, this means, hey, like I've had customers, one customer in the past, she actually bought a kit and then she wanted an immediate refund because maybe she had buyer's remorse or something. And I was just like, okay, well, when you order a refund, then you have to ship it back. That's $10 non-refundable, and then you'll get a full refund as long as all the bottles are intact and you didn't use them. And she threw a fit. Let me tell you what, like she was highly unreasonable. This was not expected. I was not expecting that on the front end. She didn't act like that at all, like when we first met and everything. So it was just really weird out of nowhere, and she basically started saying, I'm going to report you and do this and that. And it was so weird because I'm talking to her like I'm talking to you. I'm just like, hey, like how can I help you? Like what are your needs? This solution makes sense. Like I didn't try to upsell her. I didn't try to hard sell her. She just bought the oils, bought a kit, and then immediately wanted a refund. And it was just like, I think she was on a fixed income and stuff like that, and a lot of times we buy emotionally and we justify that purchase rationally, and I get that, but at the same time it's like, if you don't have savings or a spouse or something that will make you feel comfortable with that purchase, then it's important to be honest and communicate that, right? That's why I'm covering these rules of engagement. Like if you can't keep your agreement to buy a kit and use them, then really you shouldn't be buying a kit, right? So don't buy things you're not going to use, basically. But the reality is that people buy things all the time that they don't use, and there's different degrees of usage. If you buy shoes or buy clothes, if you haven't worn it in 6 months, you probably should get rid of it or take it to Goodwill or give it to somebody who may wear it at least one more time than every 6 months, right? So it's so important that we use what we got. And for her, that example, it would have been like, hey, can I just get a refund? What's the process? And boom, I told her I was going to treat her the same regardless. But at the same time, I think at the time I could have said like, hey, cussing is not necessary. Like, let's just remain lines of respect here. Like, I'm not cussing at you. Like, let's just find a solution. And I was doing more of that, but I think I could have been a little bit more firm on maintaining that she respect me, although I was respecting her the whole time. Like I was just like, yeah, well, here's the process. You know, you basically you go to UPS, it's going to cost $10. As long as you have all your boxes, you're good, and then you receive your refund within probably 5 to 7 days after they receive it. And she was like, I want it now. I want the money now. Like, why not? And she was just, I was just like, wow, is this, you know, I was like, this is, I've never experienced it before. Like, I've had tons of customers, and that was like the craziest experience ever. And it came out, again, left field. And anyways, I was just like, wow, was there something I needed to own? You know, like, could I, you know, I think I could have maybe stood firm a little bit better, like, if I'm looking for an improvement opportunity on mine, but still obviously been respectful. And so, yeah, I always try to make it a win-win. You know, I always try to make things like, hey, you're getting some awesome products that are going to help you increase your quality of life and help you in these areas, because those are the areas that we talked about. Or hey, here's this opportunity to share, and here's, you know, what you can do to start sharing with your family or friends or coworkers in a way that's natural, in a way that understands them, and boom, let's talk about next steps and stuff like that. And yeah, that is kind of the win-win process. It's like you're gaining either sales training, or you're gaining, you know, communication training or leadership training, or you're getting some type of training from me, social media, and in exchange you're getting either awesome products that help you improve your quality of life, or you're getting something basically for free because you're a customer or wellness advocate in exchange for that value. And so that's like really important to kind of note. And I think a lot of times there's situations where ownership could be taken, again, like, hey, a missed conference call, or, you know, not leading a conference call good, or not holding yourself accountable for the things you talked about in a conference call, or, you know, there's so many things that, you know, I could improve upon and try to, and do so with my uplines and mentors when we talk and stuff like that. And it's so important to just own it. You know, sometimes it's not just something I said or did, but it's something I allowed to happen and didn't do anything with, right? And somebody took over or did something. So there's always room for improvement, no matter if I did something with my, you know, like my hand on it or my word on it, or if it's just something that just happened because I didn't pay attention to it. But anyways, those are the 7 rules of engagement. They can help as a prospect, you know, if you're just looking outside looking in on doTERRA, or really any network marketing business in general, but specifically in this context, this is for doTERRA, and kind of I'm trying to frame it up in that way. It also can help you if you're a wholesale customer in doTERRA, or also a wellness advocate. And so these are going to be very key to keep in mind, and it'll just help you be the best version of you, whatever that is. If you're just a customer and you just want to focus on the, hey, I just want to use the oils at a discount, boom. These will help you. If you're a wellness advocate and you're like, man, how can I serve my customers better or lead my wellness advocates better? Boom, this can help you as well. And if you're a prospect on the outside looking in, you can be like, okay, these are the rules of engagement that when I see them now, I can appreciate them. And if I don't see them, then that's going to be a red flag in specific areas. And so it basically helps you to build discernment, or the ability to basically see the truth from the lies, or, you know, what's fact-based from the BS, basically. So, and be able to, I think, for me, respectfully call people out on it, and just be like, hey, that isn't, you know, can you help me understand what that means? Or, you know, is that how you normally lead things? Or, hey, let's focus on, you know, needs and goals here, instead of, you know, maybe hard selling or the business opportunity. I just want to learn about these things. This is what I'm looking for. Can you offer that? And let's go from there. You know, I think a lot of the communication that I do now is a lot more direct, but respectful and upfront. It's because I want to cut to the chase, right? I mean, you know, I don't like to beat around the bush. I just like to keep it real and just cut to the chase on a lot of things. And I think other people who are in sales see that as different, and they're just like, wow, you're not like most customers. And I'm like, yeah, because, you know, if I'm buying a house or buying a car or buying anything, it could be a cell phone renewal or anything, like, I just give me the facts. Let me come to my own conclusion. Make sure all I ask is that the facts you give me are accurate and complete, and if they're not, that you know, point me in the right direction to get those. And if that's the case, then boom, I'll shop around, I'll cut to the chase, and when I'm ready, I'll make a purchase decision. Boom, 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 let's go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, for me, I don't know, I can be somebody's most awesome customer, or they can see that as like, whoa, like, I better get my stuff together so I can earn his business. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's what it should be. You should always be striving to be your best and offer your customers or prospects the best experience you can. Even if you're in a corporation or an employee or anything like that, it's about, you know, your coworkers are kind of like your customers, and your boss is kind of like your customers, and your customers are like your customers, because you still have to offer service or a product of value and communicate in such a way that builds trust, basically. That concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button if you did. Hit subscribe for future video updates if you haven't already done so. And check out some of the links in the description below so you can continue to get your learn on. And I'll see you in the next video.